Hey, folks. Do I have a title? I can't tell right now. Yep, there is a Periscope broadcast. Yep. Uh, at the moment, there is. What's up, guys? So, Tony says he's in France and he thinks he's evading. But Tony actually, well, Apple or Android or whatever you use knows where you are exactly. They know you're not in Zucking France. So, Zuck that. Okay, guys. So, hello, Nerdy Gal. Hello, entire Meyer. Doug. Hello, Doug. What's up? Jerry in Portland. What's up, Jerry? So, some in Periscope, some on YouTube. Let's see. Let me just switch my devices here. If you can just give me a sec. I'll switch on the YouTube one so I can see who's there. Actually, YouTube doesn't tell me who's there. It just gives me kind of just a number. So if you don't talk, it actually don't know. Okay, Seattle. Ray Z is in Seattle. Okay, I've been to Canada for vacay. You've been in Canada, not in Portland. I'm a super fan. M. Leifer. Thank you for being a super fan, M. Leifer. Hello, Storm. Levendi. So, okay, so yes, Appreciate it if you watch on. Appreciate it if you watch on YouTube. That's what, if anything. It's I'm being asked survey here. It's like, suck this. I get a survey during my broadcast. YouTube is giving me a survey about the chat during my broadcast. Will you apply for the Apple credit card? Zuck, no. Tony, no. In fact, if not for the fact that I'm a developer, I would have dumped this a long time ago. So, yeah, I'm that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about different phones. Click none of the above. Yeah, we're gonna talk about different phones. So I guess nobody's interested on Periscope, but surprisingly, there's a lot of interest on YouTube about my topic. Linux phone. Hello, boycott box. So yeah, but no interest on Periscope apparently. Nobody wants to know about what is the Librem 5. What is this about Librem 5? What is Librem 5? I don't know what that is. Glory. Hello, Glory. Yeah, I just imagine the reaction on, the handful of people who see me like followers, since I'm not visible on the global list. They're gonna, on Periscope, they're gonna see, my dream is to code all day. That's not much of a dream. I code all day. I'm actually using my Bumblebee Nextel telephone. No, Tony, I know you're using your Android burner phone with a VPN on it. What's a Librem 5? Yes, Doug. I'm sure you want to ask that question. So, welcome, folks. So, yeah, we're going to talk about some alternatives. What a dream! It's not much of a dream, yes, because I program all day, and I was like, "This is what you dream about." I'd rather be like read a book or play music or something else. I don't need to do any programming. I already program all day. My iPhone SE still works good. Not for long, Emily Fur. The S series, that's going away. So that's, in fact, some of them don't work on Brax anymore. And not from anything I did. It's Apple itself is making changes. So anything below a 6 is no longer going to be usable soon. So, yeah. So now the question is, some of you are asking, what phone should I get? Like Great Goal was asking me, what phone should I get? And he specifically asked me, what iPhone should I get? And which kind of made me think, yeah, what iPhone should I not get? I'm actually, the last iPhone I bought was this. This is a 10. And so this is now going to be, this is like a year and a half old now, which in Apple terms means it's an old phone. So I guess I need to dump this $1,300 phone. $1,300 for this sucker. With a lot of memory and everything. $1,300 for this. And now I'm like saying, what did I get for this? What did I get for this? I'm going to tell you what I got for this. A spy brick. That's what I get. A spy brick. You need an 11R. Is that what the next one is? It's called an 11R. No, I don't think so. So I may be forced to get something for the developer account, but I don't want to use it personally. Maybe I'll wait to buy a used one, but I don't really want to get a new phone. So you just paid $700 for an 8 model. Yeah, this is $1,300. So you had a bargain with the 8 model. Are you wearing the wire we gave you? Robert Mueller's here. Welcome, Robert Mueller. So anyway, I bet Rob didn't know the Saks Fifth Avenue partnered with Apple credit card. Oh, good, because I don't buy anything at Saks Fifth Avenue. So I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be using it anyway. So are you saying as you were good, as you were good, sir? What does that mean? Is it as you were good, sir? Is there a period in there? As you were good? Zappel and Zuckbook. Yes. So this, there's other phone choices, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Is you think that it's time to buy a new phone because your phone is like a zucking year old, and they got you in this program where, I can't do anything without a zucking phone. I got to spend all my time with this zucking spy brick, and I got to do it 24 hours a day, and I need to always have a new one. So some of you think that because you're watching Periscope and you say, I'm gonna have a better phone for Periscope. At ease. Robert Mueller. Brooks Brothers stock is down $50. Brooks Brothers, they closed down their. I just found out that they closed down their Beverly Hills store. Do they still have a store in New York? Because they closed down their Beverly Hills stores. I think they're just going mostly online, which is fine. Because I hardly ever go to the store. But occasionally I go to the store. But it's in Beverly Hills and on Rodeo Drive, and they got rid of it. So anyway. So Great Gold asked me a question, which is what iPhone to get, and for the first time, I don't automatically say, what I wonder what the new model of iPhone will come out. I'm so excited. I'm gonna go to the Apple event and go, be planted in front of the TV of the computer, watching every moment as Tim Cook says everything about what's new with the zucking iPhones, and I was like, you know what? I'm not interested. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm not forced to, because of the developer requirements, I am not gonna get another iPhone. They are actually forcing us. They're forcing us because they're changing the resolution of the device, so that you're kind of stuck. You have to use a new iPhone to demo the product for the App Store. And I said, suck that. I'm not gonna do it. Not at this juncture. Nope. Not gonna do it. No iPhone for me. I think I'm gonna stop at this one. And I am not getting another zucking Android. I have. How many Androids do I have? Yeah, I have a. So this is a 10. Then I have the 7. Then I have the 6S, the 6. I got multiple 6Xs, 6, 5S. I mean, it's like, it's like all these models, and it's like, what is actually better for me? Oh, you get better pictures and all this. And it's like, zuck, guys. First of all, yes, that audio jack, that just got me. They put the audio jack. What are you going to get, 2 cups in a string? No, M. Leifer. Look at the zucking title. You just received that intel from Foxconn. There you go. Robert Mueller has all the... Does that mean you have a 5C, Robert Mueller? Is that your phone, a 5C? Since you're Robert Mueller 5C, then you must have a 5C phone. What is that, Levendi? I'm not getting another phone till 5G is firmly established and affordable. 5G will be very established at beamforming and spying on you within, a foot. I'm using a Motorola V3. Now, I can't, it's not in your name. Are the Linux phones rooted? The Linux phone. Why don't everything you get new phone give Apple the old one back? What does that? Anyway, we're going to talk about alternatives to this. Now, let me just tell you the bad news for these phones. There's many, many bad news with these phones, and I think some people have said, I've had enough. Some of you are saying you've had enough with these kinds of phones. These spy bricks, the tracking on this is just incredible, and it's like I'm reluctant to bring this anywhere. I have a BlackBerry Bold, which is one of the ones I recommend in my videos. I have a BlackBerry Bold, and that's if I'm just going to go and I just need texting and a phone, that's sufficient. And I can play music in my car. So music, and I have the music on the SD card on the phone, and I got texting, and I got the voice. Now, it's pretty useless for apps, the BlackBerry. So there are no apps, and it's not that useful for what's worse. Well, Facebook obviously is the worst. There's nothing can be worse than Facebook. Facebook is number one. Everyone is competing for second, but number one is Facebook. So my 8 Plus is on the last leg. It's an 8 Plus and it's on the last leg. Okay? Expensive new phones are just recycled parts from older iPhones. There you go, Emily Fur. So anyway, if you use a BlackBerry Bold like I do, and the point to using a BlackBerry Bold is to stop this kind of tracking. Although this is a lovely phone, I'd rather just keep it at home, and they already know my home location from this. Just keep it at home and just use it as my iPad, and and use it for testing and so on. I don't really need to have this on the road. I don't know why I need this on the road, so that it knows everywhere I go. Why do I need that? I'm driving anyway. It's not like I'm gonna go sit in the car and go do whatever. What do you need it for? So some of you are obsessed, and you can't. You got to go do Periscope every couple of seconds. So some of you cannot get away from these kinds of things, and that's where we are zucked. Because if you can't change your habits, then you are going to be zucked. No, Tony, I do not do FaceTime. No. Why do I need to do FaceTime? I can do FaceTime at home. Why would I need to do FaceTime on the road? Could you explain that to me? Do I need to do FaceTime when I'm on the road? You're driving a car and you're like, oh, I'm in the middle of traffic. It's illegal, by the way, in California. But I'm in the middle of traffic. I'm going to go do FaceTime. Zuck. What the zuck? What is the point here? And so for that, you sacrifice your privacy, because these things now have a record of everywhere you've been for the last many years. You've had a zucking iPhone or Android. They know everywhere you've been to. They know when you go to a church, to your church. They know when you go do jury duty. They know if you go in front of a judge. They know when you go to the doctor's office. They know when you go to the strip bar. They know zucking everything. Kaka. Hello, Kaka, QT lady. They know zucking everything. And it's like, my reaction now was like, suck you. People are starting to realize that, maybe this is not, this is not as fun as it is supposed to be. We are made to just be so attached to this, Joey Bates. We are so attached to this thing that this is now your zucking chip. You are basically chipped because you can't let this go. This is with you every zucking second. So it's with you that they can actually locate you to within a couple of feet, because this is always with you. You can never leave your phone. You go to the bathroom, you have your phone. You go use the toilet, you have your phone. You go eat dinner, you have your phone. Zuck. So you've basically been chipped. You are now chipped, just like 1984. You are chipped. So the only solution to not get chipped is to change zucking phones. That's the only answer. And I know many of you are not going to do it, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the new options and if they're usable or not. Can they track you when you're in a foreign country? Of course they can track you anywhere, Ray Z. What does it matter what country you're in? What does it matter? I mean, some of the people, ask me like really like weird questions, like, uh, oh, I'm hiding from my government. What do I do? As they type the response on a phone, it's like sucking idiots. How hard it is for any government, and I'm not talking the U.S., but some other, let's say you're in Colombia, okay, and you're hiding from the government because you're some, you know, drug dealer, whatever you are. Uh, so you're hiding from the government. How long does it take for them to know where you are if you're using a Zucking cell phone? How hard is it for them to contact the phone company in Colombia and say, "Give me the location of that phone"? How hard do you think that is? Okay, so some people just are not just Tony. You're very good at distracting and changing subject matter. You're very good at that. Whatever is on your mind is what you're going to focus on. So, what's the best phone for privacy? Feature phone style? No, Queen a Cowboy. We are going to talk about the Librem 5. We're going to talk about the Librem 5, and there's some other ones coming called the Pinephone, and we're going to talk about if they're going to work or not. They may not work. They may not work for you. This is part of what we have to discuss. So this part of what we have to discuss. Kana. Okay. Kana. Thank you, Kana. How am I going to remember that? Kana. Okay, I got to like. So we're going to talk about some of the new phone options, and the most exciting one, which can be exciting to some people and maybe not to others. Possibly the most exciting one, is the Librem 5. You won't be able to leave the country without a real ID. Yes, but you can put it inside a Faraday bag when you have it. So put your passport and your driver's license in a Faraday bag. So we are now forced to travel with a Zucking Faraday bag so they don't get our Zucking information. But that's okay. Some of you are going to say, okay, I'm going to put my driver's license and my passport in a Faraday bag so that I don't get tracked. And then you have your Zucking iPhone. It's like, people, use your heads, okay? You're going to be tracked with a phone. So either you put this in a Faraday bag. It's in several links in my video. If you find the video on phone surveillance, there's a brand new video on phone surveillance, and there should be a link there to a Faraday bag. Okay, and a Faraday bag is a bag that you can put your electronic devices in, and it doesn't allow for RF transmission. Okay? So Tony doesn't want to he's always going to suggest some other product that's not that I'm not suggesting. So anyway, Faraday bag as in Faraday cage. So yes, Librem 5, a Linux phone. Yes, and Mr. Tommy, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. So we're going to talk about never bring a computer phone when you travel out of the country. Sure, you can bring a computer. If you can, just set it to factory. Don't put any software on it. Set it to factory settings when you cross the border. Okay? Set it to factory when you travel. I knew we were in trouble when they stopped putting covers over the laptop cameras. Your IMEI won't change even with a new SIM card. Yes, G-Tab, that is on my video. You're going to buy a computer over there? Just remove the SIM card instead of a Faraday bag? Well, I guess if you remove the SIM card, if you take a phone, remove the SIM card, you're going to say, yay, my carrier is not tracking me. And I'm going to say, you're right. Your carrier is not tracking you when you remove the SIM card, but Apple and Google are. If you have an iOS phone or an Android phone, Apple and Google are always tracking. If you don't believe me, go run Find My Phone and say, "Oh, I took out my SIM card. I even turned off GPS. I wonder if Find My Phone will work." Yes, it will work, because Find My Phone does not care about the GPS, and Find My Phone doesn't care about the SIM card. They use Wi-Fi triangulation. And you cannot turn it off. There is no zucking off switch. If you turn Find My Phone off in settings, what you're saying is you do not want to see your Find My Phone. It doesn't mean that Apple can't see it. It just means you can't see it. You're hiding it from yourself. People, if you go say, "Oh, I'm going to turn off Find My Phone." Oh, yes. Hide the Find My Phone from yourself. That's why I'm saying, what's the point of hiding Find My Phone when I want to see what you know about me. I want to see what you know about me. So I'm just going to leave my Find My Phone home because I can't turn it off. There is no way to turn off Find My Phone on an iPhone. As far as Apple is concerned, there is no way to turn off the equivalent on Google, Android. So how are you going to turn it off? The only way to turn it off is put it in a Faraday bag. You have to put it in a Faraday bag. So it's like, Zach, I mean, this is what you want, okay? You cannot let this go even for, during the day when you should be doing other things like working. You really can't, you can't help but have this. You can't carry a BlackBerry or whatever and not have this. That's so for those of you who can't stand on having a smartphone, now we have some answers. And I'm not sure if it'll work for some of you, but I will tell you what it is, because it's called a Librem 5. It's called a Librem 5. So that's the device. By the way, thank you. I'm at 1,800 subscribers now on YouTube as of the scope here. And I'm going to be at 2,000 subscribers this month. And I will be at 3,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and likely more. So, is your new updated Darth Rider now using Raspberry Pi 4? No, Ricky Rick Rack, I will not be using the Raspberry Pi 4 because it adds expense with no benefit. So we are going to stick to the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. We are not going to use the Raspberry Pi 4. I have Raspberry Pi 4, and it's much more expensive. It's going to add between 15 to 20 bucks to the price, and I don't know why you would need that. So, I mean, if you really want it, I can do it, but it has issues with the USB-C, and you don't really need it for our use. There's no advantage to using the B plus, the 4 routing. It's used if you want to make it like a desktop computer. Other than that, let's not pay extra. So we're going to use a 3B plus, which already has gigabit Ethernet. So that's all we're using, the gigabit Ethernet. Okay, so we're gonna use the 3B plus. Okay, so I'm gonna stick to the 3B plus. I will, however, write the program for the Pi 4 in case somebody has one. I will rewrite it for the Pi 4. I have a Pi 4. So, but I haven't programmed it yet. Okay. Hello, Sir Calb. Kana, when does Librem 5 come out? So let me just tell you about the Librem 5. I ordered one. So I ordered Librem 5, and I guess they already raised the price when I ordered it. It was $6.99. It used to be $6.50. And I ordered for $6.99 plus tax. It ended up to be $7 something. It was kind of expensive, It's hello Deanna. Yeah. So yes, thank you. We're gonna be my user base on YouTube is progressing very quickly now, and at the current pace, it's gonna be at 3,000 by the end of the year, and more. it's increasing now. So even if it doesn't change right now, it's going to be at 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're going to be we're at 1,800 right now, but I was only at 1,500 just a month ago. So it's jumping now. It's finally the algorithm is paying attention. So please watch me on YouTube. So the algorithm kind of gets convinced to watch me. Hello, Killer Metal. Killer Metal's our new friend here from YouTube. Thank you for being around. Wish more people could be more aware of their damn smartphones and get off social media, stupid drama, and yeah, oh gosh, Killer Metal, you just don't know. You and I think very, very much alike here. Chump change for someone who lives in the hills. What hills are these? 100K. I actually live by the beach, Lavendi, but I guess that's the same thing. 100K by Thanksgiving. Twitty, can I get that? I want 100K by Thanksgiving. Yeah. So yes, I'm. It was so hard. I only started in January, so I'm hoping that in my first year of YouTube, I'm gonna get at least 3,000 subscribers, which is our current trend. And that's for a year of YouTube. So that's not bad. Some people get only to 1,000 in a year. So that's not bad, but it's starting to grow now, so it actually might surpass that. I'm actually computing the 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year based on the current rate. Actually, at the current rate, I'll be at 3,500 by the end of the year. But that might increase. So that is where it is right now. So that's really good. Thank you, Deanna. Yes, the phone and touchpad are very big spy agencies. Yes, sir, Cal. Exactly. So, Purism's web page currently says the Librem 5 phone is scheduled for initial release in Q3 2019. So yes, so I think they said October. So I don't know if third quarter is September. I think they said October. I actually didn't check what the latest date is, but I said, okay, let me just order one now. So I ordered my Librem 5. And I can tell you, there's a few problems with this phone. It's not perfect. But I think, it's going to change the way we think about phones. It's going to change the way we think about phones. First of all, Stormy needs to get her Librem 5 phone. First of all, I don't have any relationship with Librem, with Purism, so I'm just going to give you my honest opinion about it. I'm buying one now. Is it the best option? Well, it depends. For some of you, maybe leaving your iPhone at home and then carrying a BlackBerry is the better choice. First of all, it's cheap. You can buy a used BlackBerry for, $50 used. Maybe less. Depends. So somewhere around there, you can find a BlackBerry for $50, put a SIM card on there, and you're all set to go. And you can text, you can do calls, and you can even do some very, very basic things like GPS and things. And it's probably enough for most people when you're on the road. Now, when you're home, you probably want to use your phone because you want to use those apps. Well, you can. White Spirit, that's what we're going to talk about. So if you're one of those, then you may not want a Librem 5 phone. Hello, Night Eyes. So a Librem 5 phone, how come my number suddenly popped on Periscope here? Did something just happen? I just glanced and the numbers became high all of a sudden. Anyway, okay, let's talk about the Librem 5 phone here. So Librem 5 phone is getting attention, and it's like they're doing something that other mobile phone companies are not doing, Apple and Google and Samsung and all that. They're doing something completely different. For one, let me just tell you, something that's very interesting about and I'm doing it holding a Zucking iPhone, okay? The Librem 5 phone has removable SD cards. Okay, removable SD cards. Now, why do you think they don't want to give? Why doesn't Apple give us a machine that has removable SD cards, so we can pay Zucking $1,300 for the Zucking iPhone 10? So we can pay $1,300. I mean, I can buy a Zucking computer, a laptop for $1,300. Heck, I can buy a nice laptop for $999. Now I'm buying a phone and I'm paying $1,300 for this, and this Zucking thing is spying on me. Okay, and now a Librem 5 phone, you can stick your own SD card in there for whatever size you want, and you'll never run out of Zucking space, and it's gonna run 5 years from now. You're gonna look at the Librem 5 and say, hey, this is still very functional. I don't need to get rid of this Zucking thing every Zucking year. So you will actually save money on a phone like that. Second, they're not going to be telling you, oh, you need to update your operating system. We're going to slow you down every Zucking year. The software is upgradable, Ricky Rick Rack. Software is upgradable. So they're going to be upgrading the software for free for the lifetime of the phone. And it's running Linux, so it doesn't use a lot of resources, just like Linux doesn't use a lot of resources on a computer, on a PC. A Linux phone is not going to use a lot of resources on this. There are going to be disadvantages. I'm going to talk about that. I've been considering buying Librem, so I ordered my Librem. Now would be a good time to mention your YouTube channel. You mean to the 700 people that supposedly here that are not actually here? Those numbers are not real. Don't concern yourself with the numbers you see there. They're not real. Sounds like Raspberry Pi of phones. No, it's the phone itself from the Librem 5 will have TFT screen, high resolution, I think it's 8 megapixels and 5 megapixel cameras. I mean, it's going to be a reasonably well-equipped high-end phone. It's going to be a well-equipped high-end phone. It's probably a bug. You see that kind of numbers? That's a bug on Periscope side. So how do you know? Because the comments would be flying if it were real. It's pretty expensive. It's a SIM card. So if it's a SIM card, I'm going to guess it's going to be AT&T and T-Mobile. That's a guess. I don't know if it has capability for supporting CDMA. I don't really know that. I know it has a SIM card, so for sure it's going to support T-Mobile and AT&T. Okay, and that's what I want anyway. I don't want CDMA. CDMA is not. It's Purism. PURI.SM. Battery life. Believe it's a removable battery, T-Cats. You can replace the Zucking battery. You can replace the Zucking battery. How many phones have you gotten where you can replace the battery? They stopped doing that many years ago. Okay? The Librem 5 phone will actually have removable batteries. Now that serves the second purpose, because when you remove the Zucking battery, you don't need a Faraday cage. You do not need a Faraday cage when you take the battery out. Okay? So those are all nice. Now obviously it's probably not going to be waterproof. There's more. I believe they're going to have a hardware switch for the camera and microphone. How many MHA? But how many MHA? Yeah, how many milliamperes per hour? Yeah, I don't know. Got to look at the specs in there. Got to look at the specs. But I personally don't like the front-facing cameras. I only use one for a mirror, but I don't like the phrase selfie. I like removable batteries. Well, the selfie camera is very important for us to do live broadcast because that's the only way we can do live broadcast. But you're not going to be able to do Periscope live on a Zucking Librem 5 because it doesn't have apps. There's no app store. Just always sticker over the cam. There's not an app store, so that's one of the big negatives, and you're gonna have to think about, if this is something that that concerns you. So there's no Zucking app store. So so anyway, removable batteries, hardware switch for the phone and camera. Hardware switch. No Android apps. No Android, no iOS. Now, that's the most important point, is it's running a pure OS, which is the OS from Purism, which is open source, and it's laid on top of Linux. So it's on top of Linux. TCATS is just Linux, so whatever you can install on Linux, you should be able to install here. It's just a Linux device, so it's just standard Linux. So if you can install the software on Linux, you can install it on a phone. You may need a keyboard or something, but yeah, that's crazy. What's crazy? There's no privacy anymore, and then you move on. Because it's running stock Linux on GNOME, you can use Periscope from the you can use Periscope from the website, but you can't broadcast from the website. Will Bytes VPN work on it? Bytes VPN works on Linux. Now, the installation instructions, you can install Linux on you can install OpenVPN on Linux, but it's all command line, and you got to go to certain folders and manually set up certain things. Kelp, that's okay, Kelp. That's for you. Yeah, Kelp is denied privacy. Kelp doesn't need any privacy, so that's good. So Kelp doesn't get any privacy. Why Librem if we have Android? Oh my gosh, White Spirit. Why Librem instead of Android? Because Android fucking spies on you 24/7. So you're gonna pay your $1,000, $999 or $1,200 for your Android phone and say, "Whoa, this is so much greater! I have all these Android apps." Oh yeah, so they're recording everything you're doing and selling your Zucking data 24/7. It's like, oh, this is really cool. This is really cool. I think I want this thing to track me 24/7. That's fantastic. I'm going to buy another Zucking iOS phone and another Zucking Android phone because I believe they need to track me. Could you use a Bluetooth keyboard on a Librem phone? I believe so, yeah. I believe so. You should be able to because it comes with Bluetooth. At what point do people not get this or they don't, nerdy? They don't. Okay, so look, I'm tired of iPhone. Well, I'm tired of spy bricks. I'm tired of spy bricks. It's just too much. I can't. It's like it's so frustrating because it's like, okay, for my convenience, I got to go live with this. This thing will spy on me 24/7, and I'm just so tired of it. So it's like, let's look for some options. Now, it's not gonna work for some of you. For one, the fake 1.6K people watching from Periscope, which is not real. It says there are 1.6K people watching in Periscope, and that's not real. If it were, I'm going to tell you, please subscribe to my YouTube account, Rob Braxman Tech, but I know they're not there. Okay, so there are not 1.6 or 1.7 now. There are not 1.7K people on Periscope. That should be obvious to everyone here, okay? Or our comments will be running rampant. That is not true. I don't react to that. So there are not, it's going down. There's not 1.6K people. Okay, it is not true that there are 1.6K people watching here. A lot of OC commenters, though. So, yeah, so it is not, hello, Meredith, my friend. I like to laugh at the numbers. Yeah, yes, you can laugh at the numbers. It doesn't matter. Maybe somebody decided they're going to go hit me with bots because I haven't been hit with bots. Everybody, yes, I dare you on Periscope. Thank you, nerdy. Companies like Google make thousands of dollars per year per person whose data they sell. That's correct. So if you want that, because you cannot live without your phone. This is like so important to you that you need to be spied on. This is so fucking important that you need to be spied on. Then you stick to your iPhone and Android because, oh my gosh, the convenience. I can, my iPhone tells me you are 15 minutes from your destination. How the zuck do you know my destination, iOS? Tim Cook, how do you know where I'm going? I haven't even decided where I'm going to go, and the zucking phone is telling me, oh, you are 15 minutes from your destination. How about this? Your car is parked. Your car is parked over here. It's like, zuck you. How do you know my car was parked over there? Has this hurt you or anyone else you know personally? Our club, I don't really care what you think. Okay. If you're dumb enough to think that it doesn't cost you anything, go ahead, think that. Okay? I can't believe some of these people who make these comments. Like, if you think that it doesn't hurt you to lose your privacy, who fucking cares what you think about yourself? I care about myself. I don't really care about you. If you don't want to listen to me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, oh, we don't really need to care that who's been hurt by all this. It's like, oh my gosh. Okay, I don't need to repeat my videos that already talk about this. We're not going to go into repeats, and we're not going to escape the topic, which is Librem 5. Okay, our club. Welcome, our club. Don't worry about it, our club. Come on, our club. You're like so fucking serious. Relax. There's no problem. Relax, man. You don't have to go crazy. I'm not mad at you. If you can't define you're the victim, Kelp. You're the biggest victim. You don't even know it. No, Ray-Z, fortunately, my content so far has not been censored. I may be a target of censorship at some point because I speak out against Google. I have not spoken out against YouTube in any kind of a way. I've spoken out against Google, and they're being fair by saying, well, my whatever I talk about is not covered in their terms of use. There's nothing in the terms of use that says I can't criticize Google. There's nothing in the terms of use that said I can't criticize Google. That's not on there. Just lost 1,000 viewers. That's fine. There was no 1,000 viewers. If you actually think there was 1,000 viewers, you got too excited. That's a bit arrogant. What you say? What did Dibbler say? Did I miss that? Or maybe I don't need to pay attention to Kelp's comments here. I don't know where that was said. Okay, I'm going very far. I still don't see anything. Okay, so anyway, make your comments on YouTube and I'll pay more attention to you. Talk more about the Librem 5. What else has a kill switch? Okay, so back to where have Google been consistent with censoring? They clearly, I reread the terms of use and what they would consider something to be censored and what is not advertiser friendly, and what I talk about is not in that group, and they would have to stretch it. They would have to stretch it because I don't, although I say Google spies on you, I don't attack anyone personally, and I don't say go do something bad and cause violence to anyone, including Google. So I don't do that. So there's nothing in my content that would fit into their little model of censorship, unless you're talking about them not following freedom of speech. So far they haven't gone to that. Now the algorithm though could in fact disfavor you, and so far they have not doing that either. YouTube still wants to make their money, and because I'm attracting the viewers, then they are sharing my content. So that is they're looking at their profit line. My content works, so so they're sharing it. So many of my videos are now majority uh, YouTube search and suggested videos. So it's not for my followers. A lot of the content is now coming directly from Google itself, referring me. So that's very nice. So I just have to make money for them, and then the Google algorithm will say, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll refer you. We don't really care that you speak against us, as long as you're making money for us." Yes, I can make Brax app for Librem 5. Brax should work directly in Librem 5, but maybe I can package it differently. So I will. Librem 5 is just Linux, so I can just package my apps a little differently, and it's possible to package my apps for Librem 5, so that it would work. And it would be nice to kind of escape the App Store, because there would be no censorship on a Librem 5. Anyone can put any app on Librem 5, including Gab AI. Who's is it going to stop you? Can you imagine if most of us were on phones like Librem 5? There would be no censorship anyway. You can't be censored on the Librem 5. It's just a ducking web app. There's no way to censor you on a Librem 5. So no one's going to stop the content on Librem 5. So we need to stop. We need to stop, supporting some of these platforms, because these control you. They not only control you by taking your data and selling it, so that you can be manipulated. And they use nice terms for manipulation, by the way. They say micro-focused marketing. What's the name again? The R guy. The one who thought I was mad at him. R something 81. So if you think that that it's a simple matter, that they take your data and it doesn't hurt you in any kind of a way, the problem is that you don't even understand that you're being manipulated, and to some of you, you're not even going to notice it. There you go, our club. Okay, so one of the ways that they do it is called micro-focused marketing. Micro-focused marketing, which is a nice way of saying we're manipulating you by feeding you information that we want you to see. It's like focused advertising. They test out using focus groups, and then send out the traffic to your phone to select people by category, and can use that to influence your votes, make you think what the big issue is by controlling and saying, you need to think about these topics. This is the most important topic of the day. The most important topic of the day is straws. Okay, you can't use straws anymore. So that's the most important topic of the day. Like in California, that's the biggest thing, ducking straws. You cannot use straws in ducking California. Okay, can't use straws in ducking California. And they put signs, no straws, next to ducking cutlery made of plastic. So you're right next to plastic forks and spoons. They said, no sucking straw. Yeah, that's, push that as the topic of the day. And you're going to say, oh, yeah, that must be the most important thing in California. Not about your freedom of speech or anything like that. That's not important. Who cares about freedom of speech? No, we'll talk about the most important thing, that this kid in California said, you are going to stop using sucking straws. So do you understand that if somebody controls the ducking phone and controls what you see, including your Facebook timeline and everything else, by doing micro-targeting, you can actually think that is the most important topic, because they just manipulated you. Rob, third world countries would dump trash in rivers. Well, Zuck, you're using sucking plastic cutlery. What happens to that? You just banned the straws, but you didn't ban the plastic cutlery. So what does that happens then? What is your real impact? Oh, we're gonna ban plastic bags from the zucking markets in California. So you can't get a plastic bag anymore at a supermarket unless you zucking pay for it. So now I used to use those plastic bags for garbage. So now I can't use that plastic bag for garbage from the supermarket. So I have to buy more plastic bags. I have to buy more plastic bags. It's like, suck. No, hey. I wish it were just that. Well, if you're gonna do this straw thing, I mean, be consistent. Say no plastic. Okay. No plastic. Well, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. But why straws? Why straws? Yes, Ricky Rick Rack. No, some of you are very liberal and say, well, you should be doing. Okay, then ban all the fucking plastic. Why straw specifically? Because somebody said that's important. Apparently, it was an idea of a kid. A kid made the idea that says, oh, we need to have an impact on the environment, so we're going to go, cut out sucking straws. But we're not going to cut anything else out. We're not going to cut anything else out. You're going to keep using more plastic bottles. Why do you sell water, bottled water in plastic? You can't drink water from the faucet. Oh, you can't. No. You got to use plastic bottles, but you're going to ban straws. Who in the hell carries his shopping bag around? Yes, you're supposed to carry a shopping bag with you all day. Heat about guy that died from a metal straw. So don't use a metal straw either. Straws don't have a lobby. So my point is, if you're pro straw, pro no straw use, I am simply stating the fact that somebody can create an agenda just by publicizing it using micro-targeted marketing. No, it was a kid. The straw story was from a kid. It was a student. It's a young, I think it was a grade school kid. Okay? Oh, the metal straw. Oh, okay. Carry your own straw. Haven't used a straw in years, so it doesn't really matter to me. Dibbler, I like to, I drink, I like iced tea. One of my favorite drinks is to drink iced tea. And if I'm going to drink iced tea, I fill it up all the way to the top with ice. I want my iced tea like, freezing cold. I want it super cold. Okay, now try drinking a drink full of ice all the way to the top and try drinking that. It's going to go. Try that. Okay? No straw. So you're going to do this. Then all the ice is going to be in your face. Okay? So there. So, it's like, come on. And they said, well, the straws are going to end up in the ocean. How does the straw in a restaurant end up in the sucking ocean? I didn't put it there. When I'm done with it, I don't go throw my straws in the sucking ocean. Why would a restaurant, even a restaurant near the ocean, why would they throw the straws in the ocean? That they should go to jail for that. They can pass a law that says if you throw a straw in the ocean, you should go to jail. I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. So, if you put in garbage in the ocean, then you should go to jail. That's fine with me. Pass that law. I know a guy that runs a bottled water factory. Where does he get his water? From the faucet. He takes the water from the faucet, puts it in a bottle, says, "Oh, look, it has a French name on it. Use more plastic. Use more plastic. It's a way to use more plastic. So if you're going to ban straws, then ban the... Anyway, that wasn't the point. The point is you can survive a world without straw. You can also survive a world, Dwayner, without plastic bottled water. and you can survive it without plastic cutlery. You can survive without a lot of things, but they don't want to do it like that. So it's like the inconsistency is my point. It's like if you want to be consistent, and then I can believe the story, rather than fake news. Throw your hands in the air if you a true player. So I can't. I'm holding something. If you put your iced tea in a reusable bottle with a spout, it's even better than using a straw. So I'm gonna go to a restaurant and say, could you clean my container for me? And you can put your iced tea on it. Just not classy. Not classy. Could you? I had Coke on there a moment ago. So could you clean up my drink, and then you can serve me on this? Right. Okay. So the point is, can we get back to Librem 5 features? No, I'm being interrupted. My point is, the target marketing that it comes from knowing what you're doing comes from your docking phone. It's actually connected to this, Angel, because this phone tells them what you're doing and allows them to target you with targeted messaging, because they know what you think about straw, so they can go do target messaging. Okay? And if you don't understand, how that can be used, then maybe you didn't watch the news on Cambridge Analytica, because Cambridge Analytica is an example of somebody that had so much data that they were actually able to predict your zucking personality from your cell phone. No, it can't be targeted. Okay, now let's get back RC Club. Okay, let's get back to the Librem 5. Why is it that it matters that you have a Librem 5 versus an iPhone or iOS? Because a lot of the tracking occurs because of the device itself. It's built into the OS. So Android and iOS have built-in location tracking that you cannot turn off. This is the biggest misconception, because you don't understand the technical details of promiscuous mode that I keep telling you about. The operating system makes it available to Apple and Google. They're able to do Wi-Fi triangulation because it's built into the operating system itself. You cannot take it out. So if you can't take it out, then this thing cannot spy on you. It doesn't matter, RC Club. Let me repeat that for you. You cannot turn it off. Let me repeat that again for you, RC Club. You cannot turn it off. Let me repeat one more time. You cannot turn it off. You may be told fake news that you can turn it off because they don't explain the technical details of promiscuous mode. You cannot turn it off. Cannot turn it off. Okay? And that's the sad part, because we accept and we say, but I didn't give permission. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You don't give permission. I'll give you a little example here. Go put Facebook on your zucking iOS and Android. Go put Facebook on your zucking iOS and Android phone app. I mean the app here. Okay? Put the app on your iPhone and iOS. Facebook. Do not give it location permissions. Don't give it that. Don't give it location permissions. And you're going to wonder why, if I then don't give Facebook location permissions, how come Facebook still knows my location? Now, by the way, use a VPN. Use a VPN with Facebook. Use Tor. I don't care what you use. Use a VPN, Tor router, whatever you want, with Facebook. This phone will not only track your location with Facebook knowing it, but it will track who's near you. It will actually identify your friends that are in the same area. And we say, oh, that's so cool. I really want that. Let me get that phone. Let me get another iPhone so I can get tracked. Let me get another Android. And we just don't respond and say, I've had enough. I've had sucking enough. I don't need them to know what church I go to. I don't need them to know how many times I've been to the doctor's office, so they can go sell that information to my insurance company and say, "Oh, he's going to the doctor's office way too frequently here. So we need to get rid of this guy. Let's not support. Let's not approve his insurance." So this is Ricky Rick Rack. I've lost, I don't know, easily 100, maybe more subscribers on YouTube because they're on VPN. No, RC Club. If you actually understand the technology I'm talking about, you would understand that if I knew how to shut it down, I would. I don't know how to shut it down because it's built into the OS. Now, why is Librem 5 different? Because the OS does not allow access to the location tracking, which has to do with promiscuous mode, which is directly controlling the Wi-Fi adapter. In order to do it, you need to come into the device and actually read the MAC addresses of the Wi-Fi around you and the GPS location, match it to that, and send it over to Google, Facebook, or whoever else is doing the Wi-Fi triangulation traffic. This OS on the Librem 5 will not allow you to do that. The Librem 5 is by default blocking all of that. You can even switch the camera and microphone off so you can't be tricked into using Siri or Google Assistant. You cannot be tricked in doing that because the zucking button says it's off. Okay, so some of you don't actually read the news and you don't realize that even iOS is recording your voice. Many of you are accidentally talking to Siri, and there's third-party people screening the messages on Siri in order to analyze it, and they're actually listening to your conversation because you put Siri on in your pocket, or you accidentally put your hand in your pocket and you press the button and Siri turned on. Or some of you have, Hey Siri mode on. Don't zucking have Hey Siri mode on. It's crazy stuff. So if you do that, then you are now sending your voice to Apple. And if you're on Google, you're sending it to Google. And if you have Amazon Echo at home, which is we're not talking about, but then you're sending all that to Amazon. Or if you have Ring, you're sending your photos also to zucking Amazon. Do you think any of the carriers will really sign up to that? Because I'm sure they are subsidized by Apple, Google. It doesn't matter our club because you're getting a zucking SIM card and they don't need to know what your device is. Can we root the phone and take out the voice recognition module there? No, White Spirit, no. No. Once you do that, you open yourself up to viruses. So no. So Librem 5 is a phone that does not allow that. So let me just summarize all the things on the Librem 5 that is very positive. First of all, the OS does not allow all the spy bloat, all the spying software, listening in to conversations, tracking your location, all that is not supported by the OS. The OS does not support it. Therefore, it can't be collected. The other thing that's an issue with the Librem 5 is that the cell chip itself, or cell circuitry, the IC for the cell phone, is separate from the smartphone logic. So in other words, an app cannot access your IMEI and all these other numbers that are stored on your cell data. It doesn't have access to that. That's blocked. There's no direct connection. The phone works separately from the cell works separately from the smartphone. Do you see L5 having all the consciences, GPS plus web? No. Consciences? What does that mean? What do you mean looping? There's no looping. If you're having problem on Periscope, just come back in. There's no problem on my signal here. Signal's fine. I'm wired now. I don't have any. I'm not going to have wireless problems. Not going to happen. Sorry to the great people in the state of Arizona, but you're all going to diversify from Facebook and Channel 47. Yeah, I don't know what's happening to Periscope, but YouTube is fine. Maybe they didn't like the. Okay, Periscope recovered. I didn't do anything. Periscope did something, but yeah, Periscope is. There's no problem on YouTube. I can see YouTube is working here. See, look. Getting 3 words over and over. Suck. Anyway, we're still continuing here on are we okay? Are we okay on YouTube here? Forgetting about Periscope for a moment. Are we okay on YouTube? Can you just confirm that the signal on YouTube is fine? Can somebody just confirm it looks okay? Yeah, signal on YouTube is fine. So, yeah. So YouTube is running. So anyway, let me just type go to YouTube. Hold on, let me just type go to YouTube. Oh, it's back? Did it go back? Okay. YouTube was not interrupted. It was just Periscope. Okay, ask your question now. But if you lose me here on Periscope, it's running fine on YouTube. Okay, it's running fine on YouTube. So if I get an issue on Periscope, just run to YouTube, and it'll be fine. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So the Librem 5 has a separation between the phone hardware and the software. Now, where's my pistol? Actually, my other pistol is missing, so this is not the good one. My other one is missing, and I don't know where it is. So somebody took my pistol. So now I got to look for it. I don't know where the pistol is. Okay, so cheap routers. Was asking about the conveniences of iPhone Galaxy minus G++ Web. That's still available. Our club, just listen, our club. If you're using iOS and using Android, tracking will occur. So the only way out is to stop using those operating systems. So what are your choices? You can use an old 3G BlackBerry. Okay, that doesn't track. Then if you could still have one of these, just leave it at home. Don't carry it around with you. Carry a different device when you're walking around, and that's good. Now, some of you have access to Yelp, want access to things that you want to search for, Google search, DuckDuckGo search, whatever, when you're on the road, and that's where a Librem 5 phone will handle that. Because a Librem 5 phone will have full internet access, and you can go to any website, and it will not track you because it doesn't have the OS feature to track. So it's not going to be able to do Wi-Fi triangulation. It likely, I got to verify this when I get it, but it likely won't be able to send your location data to the websites because it's probably not on the phone. Plus, it has a hardware switch for the camera, for the microphone. It will have GPS, yes. It will have GPS because you may need to do location for yourself, but it won't send it to the party, unnecessarily. I got to go check this myself. Now, the main problem, and there are problems with the Librem phone, so it's not all, happy stuff here. The problem with the Librem phone is that there are no app stores. So your favorite apps are not going to be on a Librem 5. So you have to go to the website, or a web app or a Linux executable, which at the moment there's not a lot of that for touchscreens. But the Librem file will open it up. Once everyone starts saying this is cool, there will now be a growth, and because it's just standard Linux, then people will start writing software for a Linux device. You have to download and compile. No, you don't have to download and compile. You can pre-compile everything for the Pure OS. I read that it has kill switches for camera, mic, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and baseband. Yes, Mr. Tommy Isles. Yes. Yes. That's what I hear too. The hardware switch is really awesome because, what is Pinephone? I haven't talked about Pinephone yet. Now, a Librem 5 it's expensive. It's $6.99 before tax. So in California, there's tax. $6.99 for a Librem 5, and we don't even know what's in it, and there's no app store or anything. But I'll tell you some of the advantages in a second. Now, there's another option which is not out yet, or not. It may be the end of the year before it comes out, the first model of this, and it will be called a Pinephone. Pinephone. A Pinephone will also be a Linux phone, kind of similar to Librem 5, but the CPU will be a lot smaller, more like a Raspberry Pi. Daryl, hello Daryl. So Raspberry Pi is what about is it location detection? It's software issue? No, Ray Z, it's in the operating system. No, Ray Z, it's outside of anything that they allow us to control. It's in the operating system itself. The tracking is built into the operating system, which is why the Librem 5 Pure OS will not give you access to that. Therefore, there's no way to do it. It's not in the OS. The OS is open source. So if you decide that Pure OS is doing something you don't like, well, you can fork Pure OS, write the software yourself, and say, I don't like this feature on Pure OS, and delete it and load it on your Librem 5 phone. See, that's the thing. It's open. No one can stop you from doing whatever you want to your Librem 5 because it's just Linux. There's so many advantages to this. You can install any kind of Linux app. No one's going to stop you. There's no censorship. There's nothing that can be blocked. If you allow it, it will go in your phone. You can install it all day. You can do whatever you want. They will upgrade it. You can install your own memory cards. You can put in your own batteries. You can replace the batteries. So you can upgrade the memory to whatever you want. If they're selling 1 terabyte micro SD cards, you can put it in, and there you go. You got a 1 terabyte phone. So there's not going to be limitations. Now, the Pinephone is going to be a lot slower. The Pinephone is going to be a lot slower than the Librem 5 just because of the CPU. It's in location tracking done by yeah. So anyway, Ray Z, I answered that already. So is that a late comment? Is that a repeated comment? So a fingerprint not for my use, multi-virtual machines. What is a pine? Okay, so playing devil's advocate, if it becomes popular, becomes breeding ground for malware viruses. RC Club, it's Linux. Linux is a little harder to. Linux is harder to. In fact, that's why you don't find viruses on Linux, because of the need for. You can't install anything on Linux without root privileges. So just the way the design of the OS, you can't. It's very hard to install a virus. Have to learn Linux? No, Twitty, you do not have to learn Linux. No, you can install apps on it. It'll be there'll be a little bit of a learning curve because there's no convenience of an app store. If somebody says I have an app for you, then you have to learn to install it yourself. And it comes with some basic apps on there that they offer. But I'm gonna put Braxme on there. I'm gonna make that easy I'm gonna, when I get my phone, I'm gonna make Brax very, very easy to install on a Linux phone. So that's my plan. Uh, Mail, I think they, well, again, it's Linux, so in theory, you can install anything um, like Thunderbird because it's just Linux. But the problem with the Linux apps is they're not made for touch screens. But when open source and general population need easy access, introduce bad people. Because it's open source, it's not gonna allow those kinds of bugs. There will always be somebody around to fix them because they're open source. For example, if I spot something on bad on the uh, Pure OS for Librem 5, I'm a programmer. If I say, "Oh, look, they're actually tracking you," I can go in there and remove the code and put it on my phone. That's exactly what I think, Twitty. That how many apps do we really need? So you can access YouTube from the website. You can access Brax from the website. You can access a lot of things from a website and web apps, and a lot of apps already respond to touch, even on a web. So it's not as necessary to use an app unless you're really tied to certain apps that have certain features, like you want your Instagram, you make your face look weird, that kind of thing. If you want to do all these little features or use emojis and all that, you're so tied to iOS and Android, you're gonna need that. Well, yeah, you might as well stick to iOS and Android because we won't be able to take this out of your zucking hands. So I don't need that. When I'm traveling, I need to occasionally look at Yelp to see where I'm going to eat. Need to be able to search, and the rest of the time I'm on Brax.me. I need to go on YouTube, and beyond that, I don't really need much of anything else if I can go to the website. So, and I don't need any rules that stop me from, because some of this putting always putting rules that I can't access this or that because Apple and Google don't want me to access it. Well, I don't want that. I want to be able to go where I want to go, and there's no censorship on a Librem 5. It can't be censored. It doesn't have the facility for being censored. You choose what you want to put on there, and because it's Linux, it's not a target for a virus. It's going to be harder to install a virus on there. Okay, so we need to kind of have a change of thinking if we're going to go this route. Some of you cannot escape because you love Periscope so much. You're going to stick to the app because I want the interface for Periscope. I'm not going to go change that. It's like, I just had enough. If I can escape a lot of this tracking, I just want to feel comfortable. I don't need to be tracked. And some people are saying, "Well, why do you care? I mean, what's the big deal to being tracked?" It's like, Doc. Why do I need to be tracked? Why do I need third parties buying my data saying these are the places you've been to? Why do I need somebody selling the data that say, okay, these individuals went to this church, these individuals went to this school, these individuals drove on this street, these individuals go buy their cars from this dealership? Why do they need to know that? You don't understand when I say that they know everything. Just from location alone, they know everything about you. Location alone. Sorry, RC Club. Our club. You want the you think you can control that, right? How many browsers that you have to rephrase that and lighten up. You mean what browsers work on Linux? What browsers work on Linux? Yes, our club. I keep saying RC Club. What browsers work on Linux? Well, Chromium is on Linux. So a lot of the browsers are based on Chromium, like Brave. Firefox works on Linux. So Chromium, Firefox, Brave. What else? Many others will work. Stop tracking us. I mind everything. I want them charged for violating our freedom. It really bothers me that we let them do this. If you have no idea about this, I'm just gonna let you know that someone is selling your locations and where you've been. And they can identify it to a specific phone and say, oh, this phone, which is attached to Rob because it has a login ID to Apple, with this IP address have been on these locations all day. And they sell that data. There are thousands of apps that track your location, not just Apple, thousands of apps, plus Facebook does not even pay attention to any setting in here. They found a way, and I can tell you another time how they did that. They found a way to override the permission settings so they can track your location anyway. No, apparently it's legal, so that's a problem. So I think it's probably even worse than you say. No, it's not worse than I say. It is what I say. I already know how bad it is. It's pretty bad. I'll give you an example because some of you just don't understand the kind of tracking that's involved. Somebody said, I want to know how many, I want to know the comings and goings of people at Tesla, at the Tesla plant. Why did they want to know the comings and goings of people at the Tesla plant? Because they want to know how many employees there are at Tesla. So they wanted to identify the Tesla employees. Why? Because they wanted to see if the numbers of employees are going up or going down. So they wanted to track that. So they hired a company that says, okay, sell us the data for all the cell phones in the Tesla plant. And let's do a count and see how many there are at any one time. And so they found out that there were 20 or 30% more people at Tesla than before because they did it over time. And then they found out that before the quarterly earnings that might be announced that they hired extra people and they can meet their production. So then somebody then probably bought some options of Tesla, and then the next day the price goes up, make some money, go sell it, sell your options, and make big bucks for very little money, and you say, great, we used the data, okay? And you're saying, oh, this doesn't affect me in any kind of a way. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. Are you crazy? Do you understand that you're being manipulated? If somebody's manipulating the stock market, they're taking the profit out of your 401k. Somebody's making money off you. And you let it. You say, well, that's okay. They can do anything they want because, we don't care about tracking. Oh, really? Okay. So how about if I say this? I could find out exactly what anyone's religion is. Because our club, is it really insider trading? That's a good question to ask. So they use external data. They used tracking. They used phone tracking to find out these people. So does the SEC look at that as inside information? And they were cheating. Yes, they were cheating. They manipulated us. They got inside information we don't have, and they used it in the stock market. But was it inside information? No. They said, oh, let's use the data that's out there with location tracking. So somebody could say, I want to find out who the Jews are in my area, individually. I want to know every single Jew. I want to know every single Muslim. I want to know every single Catholic. Okay? I want to know how many of the Catholics go to church on Sunday. I want to know how many don't. Okay? Is that information that you really are happy to share? I want to know who goes to the doctor. I want to know which of the population goes to the doctor more frequently than others. I want to know who drives far and who drives close by. Those who commute, I like to know who they are so that I can kind of like filter them out from marketing so I don't sell them any zucking insurance. And I'm going to make sure when I market, I'm not going to market to those people who go see the doctor. I'm going to market to the people who don't see the doctor. Okay? I want to know who's the gun owner. Yes, you can do that. See, that's what we're talking about here. The profiling, and we're not even talking about the politics here. I want to know who's on the left, who's on the right. I want to know if you're in the middle. I want to know if you're gullible enough that I can send fake news to you. I want to know how you react to certain keywords, in political lingo, and see if you react to certain words, and then I can use you to pump information to other people because I know you're going to post it on Facebook. This is the kind of stuff that is used for manipulation. And the CIA and the NSA actually did this. Actually, the one that it was tested. The NSA tested it with the what's the name of the UK version of the NSA. Okay, so the UK version of the NSA. Why do I don't type that in? Never mind what it is, but don't type it. Don't type it. Okay, so the in the UK intelligence operation in concert with the National Docking Agency, not MI6. No, not MI6. Why? It's like CQ, HQ, G something, GCHQ? Is it GCHQ? Anyway, why am I getting a mental block? Is it GCHQ? Okay, so GCHQ, is that correct? If GCHQ did it, what they wanted to know was, can we manipulate what the Muslims see in the UK? Can we see what the Muslims see in the UK? So they actually tested that. They modified the internet for certain people, so when they go to Google and do all that, they see something else. And they said, well, we're trying to, prevent people from being, turn them into terrorists. So we're going to change their news of when you're young. You Google you Google something in like Daesh, and you get something else. Okay, so they actually tested that, and that was part of what Snowden revealed. So you're saying, well, you can't really be using this for manipulation. Wrong. They are doing it now. I don't want that. I want a device that I don't need to have anyone influence me. I want to make my own decisions. I want encrypted conversations. I want whatever I do on here to be mine. I don't want it to be anyone else's. Okay? I don't want... where's documentation on that? Yeah, Snowden was part of what was revealed by Snowden. So it should be on Wikipedia. Should be able to find that. That's actually called Jigsaw. Jason, all you have to do is go to jigsaw.com. Jigsaw.google.com. Okay? Go to jigsaw.google.com and you'll see some of their projects, and it's listed on there as one of their projects where they change how the internet looks. It's on there. It's one of the projects of Jigsaw. Okay? So, if you think that I'm kidding you, that I'm just making this up, go zucking check Jigsaw. That takes your data from Google, whatever they know about you, and say, okay, we'll change the data for you. So if you're a Republican, you will see different things on Google than if you're a Democrat. Okay? That's just true now. But they took it to another extreme where they actually directly modified the internet for someone. They went further than just search. They actually modified the internet so that when somebody searched for something, they saw something else. Okay, that is already being done. And they can do things like, some of the things that scare me are like things called packet injection, where they modify the IP packet, and you go to a website, and the National Zucking Agency intercepts the website, your traffic to the website, and instead of returning traffic from the website, they filter that out and they send their own traffic back with a zucking cookie marker in there to identify you. You don't think they can do that, right? Yes, they can do that. Packet injection. Packet injection. Okay, these are some scary shit, ZHIT, that they can do on the zucking internet. And if they know who you are and can identify you clearly from your profile, they can manipulate what your zucking see. And I believe that's the kind of technology that they used. Because what if I send a data to a website and a different website responds to me? How am I going to know that? It's called man in the middle. How do you know that you didn't actually see a response from the original website? If somebody has the power to interrupt my traffic, someone can say, I am that website. So somebody was going to, let's say, some Islamic terrorist website, and I guess they modified it. So when they saw, instead of seeing that website, they saw something else. Okay, now what if you want to see something? Let's say you're doing research on Trump, and something else comes up, like fake news. There's so much of that now, but we're talking about direct manipulation, where you actually are angered so much you go crazy because you just saw something that is actually not true because they injected the internet with something that is incorrect, which they can do. Okay? Yes, unfortunately, RC Club, you're not going to know when this happens. So it's already happening. And if you want to know who's gullible, all you have to do is see people's comments on zucking Facebook timelines. I see pictures of things that are obviously photoshopped. Things that are so obvious to me that they're photoshopped. And they put comments in there. Is that really true they did that? It's like you zucking idiots. And you're saying, are people really that gullible? Well, apparently they are. Apparently they are. And now you're letting that control the internet. You're hitting, no, not Surfer Babe, my friend. I don't go on Zucking Zuck book, but quit 10 years ago. But I see on Twitter, RC Club, you're smart. I hope you use a name like our club on Twitter and not your real name. Surfer Babe, my goodness, you don't come anymore on my scopes or on Brax. And I don't see anything new on YouTube. I do. You'd use your real name, our club? You use your real name, our club? I hope not. If you do, change it now. It's not reason they are using your emotions against you. It doesn't, you see, there you go, Surfer Babe. Let me just tell you something. If I know what your feelings are politically, and I know what your hot buttons are, it's so easy to just, get you ticked off, and you react in a certain way, and then, and then you try to influence others, and you say things that, you may be false, but you are very good at gossip. You will spread fake news. You'll be the one to spread it. And it's very easy to target these people who are always posting everything. And if I find out those people that are always posting everything over and over on social media, especially things that are close to their heart, I just target those people. I'm not going to get banned, Razy. There's nothing I talk about that's going to get me banned. Okay? I don't talk politics. So this is why listening to each other's stories and listen to those who are sharing rather than say conspiracy theory, this and that, then you learn stuff. So anyway, the extent of manipulation that can happen is very, very serious. And it matters a lot to me because, as I've repeated many times, when I was young, I lived in a place with a dictator, and the dictator controlled the news. It was basically like 1984. They controlled the news, and everyone that spoke on TV was actually a government employee, and they were, they had to pass through the censor. Whatever they said on TV had to be approved by the government. And you actually don't know, after a while you start believing it because that's the only thing you hear. You only hear one side. And that's when you start to understand that you can actually be manipulated. And I know this myself. You can be manipulated if somebody controls the flow of information on social media, on your timeline, whatever. You can be influenced. So if you think if you don't think you can be influenced, I'm telling you from my experience that even the average person who is against the government will eventually say, oh, well, I guess I shouldn't complain. It's not so bad, because you don't really hear anything that's bad. So you're saying, well, okay, I guess it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, nobody's really complaining. That's because you don't hear anyone complaining, because if they complain, they go to Zucking jail. I don't know, Mad Cow. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, that somebody can manipulate you if you don't hear the whole story. You've been working a lot, Surfer Bay. I know you moved, and then you were moving out of your house, and then we lost track of you. You're like painting it and doing all that stuff, and then we lost track of you. So anyway, if you understand my personal experience here, I'm sharing with you that in my experience, you can be influenced. As a kid, I was being influenced by the TV. I personally was being influenced. Yes, Surfer Babe. Bad dictator. Bad but more democracy. Less manipulation, etc. Benevolent dictator. How do you know if a dictator is benevolent or not? How do you know? As it turns out, a dictator can hurt the economy in a very, very big way by saying, I'm going to take 15% of the GNP and put it in my pocket. I'm going to take a commission for every single financial transaction. I'm not going to allow any transaction in this country without pocketing some money. And so now you bring the whole country down, and you're saying, oh, we don't really care. But you don't hear about that because that's not in the Zucking news. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can be influenced. So it's very important to get away from these devices, because these devices are what they use to manipulate us. The less we use of this, and the more you use computers with VPNs, the safer you're going to be. So back to the Librem phone. So yes, it will take a lot of convincing for people to say, don't use your Zucking Instagram and Facebook app. Okay? Because you're not going to be able to do your, change your face on Instagram. You're not going to be able to do that. They don't have that on Linux phones. But you should be able to do everything else. You can go to the internet and do whatever else. You're going to be able to do that on the phone. You're not going to be able to use these apps with all these little effects, little games. How about Face app? Are you all loving Face app? I already played Surfer Babe, played at the beginning. How about Face app? Do you all love this Face app thing? I mean, talk about gullible. Didn't say, hello, Lenny PR. Didn't somebody say, are people really that gullible? Well, they are, apparently. Face app. Okay? I mean, how gullible do you need to be? How about Pokemon Go when that was around? Fortunately, nobody cares about Pokemon Go anymore. If they don't have emojicons, forget about it. Exactly, our club. No one's going to use that anymore because it doesn't have all that. Face app. You played Zucking Pokemon Go, so they can go, you know, have a map of the inside of your home. That's perfect. 3D map of the interior of your home. You don't use Face. We're not talking about Facebook. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Face app. Face app is such a hit because you download this thing and you take a selfie of yourself, and then it will show you how you look aged. So if you want to see, I already know what I look like aged, but if you want to see for yourself how will you look like when you get older, then the Face app will show you what you will look like when you're older. So it's a Russian app, and everyone says, oh, this is so cool. I want to see what I look like when I'm older. So I'm going to send my photo to Zucking Face app. So now they got your face with facial Zucking recognition, and they can sell that thing. They can sell your Zucking face now. You are Zucking idiots for using Zucking Face app. You got to hack for that app. This is what I'm saying. It's like, you can't help it, some of you. You know, all the little nifty things you can do with your Zucking phone. You can't get away from iOS and Android. And I'm saying, people, Librem laptops are kind of expensive, Aaron. There are other options on the Librem laptops. I mean, there are options out there. System 76, is it? There are other options. So, you know, you got to look for, you know, things without AMT on it. There are other options. I don't need to know what I look like when I'm old. Yes, I know what I look like when I'm old. I'm already old. I don't have to wonder. I already know. Look at your parents' pics. Smudge your finger equals you. There you go. They've been telling you information for decades. They've been L'ing your info for decades. Yes, Kelp, but you don't have access to that. But your location, somebody has access to it. It a little harsh when you might as well eat a bite of the steak. Oh gosh, that's funny, Jason. I don't know. I have to be kind of sharp here. You know, I can be nice and kind and say nice word and say, oh, that is not good of you. No, I'll just say idiots because it's like, come on. Okay, when we're talking about sheep, you know, I need to convince you not to be sheep. I don't need to be kind. You know, if you don't want to be an idiot, then don't be sheep. That's simple. And if you're watching me, you're already not sheep because that's why you're watching me. You're already not in that category. So it might be interesting to use a pic of yourself when young and compare the aging with how you are now. I know what I look like young, and I know what I look like now, and you know, I was playing at a farmer's market. I play music, you know, as you guys know, I'm a musician, and I was playing music at a farmer's market, and this young woman said, "Are you XXXXX?" I said, "No." "Oh, I was told to look for this old Asian guy." So I thought it was you. It's like, okay. Got it. I'm the old Asian guy. Okay, got it. So yeah. So I already know what I look like old. Some Rob now something, I think Rob at 17. Rob now plus 15 pounds. Actually, at 17, I was I don't know. My waist was like, what was my waistline at? I think like 24 inches. You're a sheepdog. I was so thin back when I was young. I was so thin. So then it took me a while to then I gained weight, and then I grew up, and then I lost the weight, and I'm back to normal, and I haven't changed. Weren't we all? Yes. Is there a setting for white? Is there the white person which ages you faster than Asians? Yeah, I wonder if Face App like says, "Oh, you're Asian, though, so we'll age you differently." Give me for free a Braxme baseball cap. I don't have a Braxme, uh, so I would lose money. Lenny PR, why don't you support the cause by buying a, cheap Braxme baseball cap? No surfer, babe. Nobody cared about me. I was a nobody. So anyway, uh, back to what I'm saying. So, I don't want. I want a new environment. Can we have a new environment with a different device that actually, where the standard is that it can't track us, that if we want to turn off the voice recognition, that there's a physical switch that you have to physically say yes, I want voice recognition, where the camera doesn't take pictures of you when you're asleep, where it doesn't just turn on, but because you can do that, but guys, you can install software on this to just turn this on, and without you knowing it, it can be recording you or doing anything to you and watching you in the bathroom. You can't do that. I've talked to you about that. Anybody want to get a phone from me? I'll send you a phone. Just leave the phone charger in the bathroom. I'll send you the phone. Females only. Just pulled in. Okay, so, because yes, you can control the phone, especially if somebody gives it to you. It has the software preloaded. All legit software from the Zucking App Store. Legit. I can load software from the App Store, put it on this, and go watch you, and you're going to say, oh, the App Store allows this? Yes, they do. Old school double authentication, separate briefcase. Phone charger, too short for bathroom. Samsung Galaxy Note, I think it's going to be cool very soon on the presentation. Lenny PR, dump your Samsung, dump your Android, dump your iOS, dump all this. Let's try something else. So I have pre-ordered my Librem 5. If the Pinephone comes out in December or whenever, I may buy one of those too and see how that works. Whatever, enlighten up, it kind of proves the point though. Specifically, which what? He's seen me this entire time. Is a Windows driver, video card driver versus Linux driver the same, or is Linux driver bad? It is open source driver the same as a Windows driver. The video driver itself wouldn't be, it's just the interface to the hardware. What instructs the hardware to turn on and off is really the question. So that has really nothing to do with any of that. The driver has nothing to do with it. The OS controls what you're going to do. OS. Okay? So, anyway, I'm going to get a Librem phone. I ordered my Librem phone. So when I get it, I'm going to, see how difficult it is to use without these apps. Yes, LennyPR, there are no app stores on Linux. There will not be an app store. You'll be able to install anything you want that you can install on Linux. If there's a Linux program somewhere, yes, you can install it. There is no, thank you for the super hard server, babe. There is no app store. If you want to sell something on Librem 5, no one's going to take a cut because there's no one to interfere with what you load on the phone. Yes, great goal, but you won't give up Periscope, so therefore you're stuck. For those of you who cannot get rid of Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, and cannot survive without those being in an app, then you are not going to survive with a Linux phone. I can tell you right now, it requires a change of habit because you're going to say, we're going to make a decision. What do I value more, my privacy or the surfer, babe? The fact that you have Facebook alone is really, really evil right there. There's the evil right there. Just mention Facebook and it's already it's enough. What else do you need? Is that not enough? Luke Smith had some negative rant about the Librem file a while back, but I don't remember the details. Anyone in the chat remember that and can compute how the input interacts with this input? I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of predict for myself some of the issues that are going to be with Librem 5. I know it's not going to be perfect. For people who like apps, that's the number one problem. I know that's going to be number one. How easy it would be to install software is a second issue. And there's not going to be a market control to say, an app store. So you can basically install everything. And so there are not going to be certain things you cannot do on a Linux phone. So we'll see. There's obviously you're not going to find the emoticon things with the iOS. You're not going to store your data on Google Drive, and none of that. This is stuff that are evil to begin with, and you're not going to have that chance to use that on a Librem 5. Those are not necessarily bad things, but it just changes your habits. Just changes. Come on, man. Jam out some Spain. You mean like the song Spain? I forgot how to do it. Yeah. Kind of Spain? What you're talking about? How about I'll probably be Bana. This is from Czech Korea too. There you go. Why don't you play improvised piano by yourself? Yeah, I can play things like this. There. So they can't say copyright violation. Copyright violation. It's like, yeah. You're going to say, I took, Mary had a little lamb. Okay. I can just see that. I can just see that. We will demonetize you because you played that. So we shall see. So anyway, thank you guys. So nobody really likes, when I play music, people leave. So I don't try not to do too much of it. Lenny PR, I just did a gig today, and I'm, at the gig, I improvise in every song. So because I improvise in every song, so improvising is making the music up. So basically, every time I play, I make something up, like that. It's old enough. Okay, so yes, we talked about the Pinephone. So there's not much to say about the Pinephone, except that the Pinephone uses a Raspberry Pi type of board. So it's going to be very, very low powered. It's going to be kind of slow. So if you want a fast CPU, the Librem 5 will be a very fast CPU. And besides, because it's Linux, it's going to be faster. For one thing, they said that you can boot from scratch when you start with it from off. It takes only 14 seconds to start a Librem 5 phone, whereas it takes 40 seconds on Android, and who knows how much time on iOS. So yes, a Linux operating system by default doesn't really use a lot of resources to start. So for that reason, I expect it to be light. Now, a Pinephone is using a slower CPU. So you kind of say, well, do I need to surf the web fast? Would do like watch videos and all that. If you're going to do that, then you probably are better off. If you're going to watch a lot of videos, I would say go with a Librem 5. If you don't have the money and you say, well, I'm not going to use it for that much stuff, then you can say, I'm going to use a Pinephone. Now, how is a Pinephone different than, let's say, a old BlackBerry? For some of you, having an old BlackBerry for $50 used is enough. For some of you, that's enough for you. The problem is that if you use a BlackBerry Bold like I do, you can't really do too much on the web. It's not really suited for doing a lot of stuff on the internet. So it's excellent for texting. It's excellent for phone and some basic apps on there. But that's about it. Uh, well, the BlackBerry OS does not track you. So, I mean, it's awesome. You can't be tracked by BlackBerry. So I have a BlackBerry. So if I'm not at the house, I don't need to bring this. The BlackBerry can play music in my car, Bluetooth. Uh, I can receive calls. I can send and receive texts, and and such things. And I can have some elementary stuff that I can do on a website, but it's not really that good for going visiting websites. So for that, you're gonna need more of a Librem 5. So if you're gonna want to use your phone more like you do now, but have it safe, the closest thing you're gonna find to safety is a Librem 5. It's the closest thing you're gonna get. But if you want to use an iPhone at home and leave this at home and carry a BlackBerry, then the BlackBerry is a fine solution too. You don't need to spend the money. Okay? So it's up to you. You make the choice. I have to buy the Librem 5 so I can test it and show it to you. Then you can make the choice later. That doesn't mean I'm telling you to buy Librem 5. I'm not telling you to do that. Just like I tested the solar panels and everything, I buy it myself. And then I will do a review on it when I actually get it, and I'll tell you exactly the pluses and minuses when I get it and see how I can live with it. So there are many negatives to this. It's like I studied, flip phones. So I have some flip phones, and I said, I can't use this in daily life because I'm not going to be able to text. And most people text. They don't call me. They just text. If they're going to be texting, I'm not going to be able to respond on a flip phone with texting. So I wanted a BlackBerry so I can respond with texting. That is fine on a BlackBerry. I'm okay with texting on a BlackBerry. So some of these are choices. If you want a touch screen with big buttons, then you're gonna want a full-sized phone like a BlackBerry. However, it's not edge to edge. BlackBerry was bought by the name BlackBerry was bought by some Chinese company. So BlackBerry is actually Chinese. Do not buy anything BlackBerry. No, I have different SIM cards, DJ Murdoch. No, I have different SIM cards. As you know from my burner phone video, I have a stack of SIM cards. I have a stack of them. I can change phone numbers every month. I have a stack of them. I bought a lot of SIM cards. You can buy them, you can buy them in bulk. So I did. So they charge us shipping cost. Most of the charge on the SIM card is on shipping cost. So I said, well, let me just buy a lot of them. So I have a lot of SIM cards, and then I can change, SIM cards every week if I want to. So yeah, so I can do that. So I'll trade you. Actually, that's not a bad idea, Nerdy Gal. But my SIM cards are with Ting.com. Anyone want to trade SIM cards? A good idea. Trading SIM cards will remove the disinformation. If we all have a SIM card trading here, then they won't be able to track where the SIM card came from. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. Trade SIM cards. Can you imagine if 50 people traded SIM cards? I mean, or we go, So your family needs to now each different phone number. Yeah, but that's not that hard. What is the best SIM card if a person goes to cruise to use unlimited data? Well, that's up to the carrier, Lenny PR. I use Ting.com. And I use T-Mobile. So, it's Tor for SIM card. Hey, Simon. Like sport cards. Yeah, we need to have a SIM card trading party. SIM card trading party. Say, okay, if Lenny PR, if you would click on it on my video, there's our links to my phone videos. there's a ting.com link on there. If you click on the link to my video, Ting will give me some reward for referring you, and I would really appreciate that if you do that. So go to ting.com on my phone video. Any of the phone videos have it, and go click on it on there, and they will give me a little credit, which supports this program, and I would really be appreciative of that. Is it feasible for something like this to have longevity if not accessible to 110 financially? I don't know. The first round has been propped up by Kickstarter. I've had a couple of drinks and maybe just being negative, Mr. Nancy. Jason, I'm not telling you to get a Librem 5. I'm not telling you to get one. I have to get one to show you if it works or not. So if you want to wait for me to test it, go wait. It's not necessary that you go rush into this, since it appears to be at full price anyway by now. So it doesn't really matter. So just wait for it to come out, and then I'll tell you if it's worth it. For me, because I need to do the videos, I need to be one of the first to have it. So, and I'm not going to be first to have it. I mean, many bought last year. So I'll be watching. Yes, so watch me, and I'll tell you if it works or not for me. Remember my limitations. I do not use Zucking Instagram. I do not use Zucking Facebook. Zuckbook. I do not use. I am happy not to use Periscope on the Zucking phone that I take with me. I am happy not to use the Twitter app. I can use the Twitter website. So I can do all that. I'm happy with that. Some of you will not be happy with that, in which case then nothing will please you other than iOS or Android and being spied on. Because you say, well, I'm not going to trade my convenience. I love these apps. They're my life. Therefore, I have to go dump your idea and stick to Android and iOS. And that's up to you. That's your choice. Okay? So I will suck them all. Yes. Okay, our club. So I will test it out, and hopefully it arrives sooner rather than later. I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't arrive in like November. Would be nice to get it, They say third quarter, so you mean I'm actually gonna get it on September 30? I doubt it. Okay, I really doubt I would get one on September 30. I'm expecting it in November. So, that's why I have to buy these stupid things. Do I really need a new iPhone? No. But they forced me because they changed the screen. So I have to program for the new screen. So I have to buy one. But I don't need to buy an XR because it's the same screen size. There's no advantage for me. There's nothing really new for me to program on. And I'm really actually, getting tired of supporting all these platforms. Maybe I need. Yes, you missed the Pinephone. Yes, maybe I need to focus on creating software for Librem 5. Who cares if there's only a few people on it? If there's not a gazillion people on it, but there may still be, let's say there's only a couple of million on Librem 5, and there's 5 billion on iPhone. That's fine. Okay, that's fine with me. I'm okay with making very limited software that runs only Librem 5 if I can feel some sort of safety. If I feel like it's going to be a safe option for me, I'm going to be happy to make software for Pinephone and Librem 5, because if it opens up this new arena for me. So, because I'm really tired of all the spyware that you can't turn off on this. So what was that? So I may want to just, if it works. Yes, but a Pinephone is only $149. So for basic use, that may be enough. It's running Linux. It's not heavy anyway. So you may be okay for. It's not going to be like ultra fast, obviously, but it's like saying, are you okay with a Raspberry Pi versus a Dell XPS? You have to make the choice: i7 or a Raspberry Pi. Well, there's a big difference there. So we shall see. We shall see. Okay, so that's so anyway, I'm going to see when I get the Librem 5, and I'll see what I can do. And chances are I don't have to do much to write software because it's just Linux, and I already do touch. So it shouldn't be impossible to come up with something quick that I can modify for the Librem 5. For example, I was banned from coming up with an app for Man in the Middle, Catch MITM app, my app on Android. Apple wouldn't approve that. I said, this is a very important tool. Is anyone else talking about this? Yeah, Librem 5 is very heavily discussed, yes. So you can search the internet with Pinephone, but can't with BlackBerry. Yeah, the BlackBerry has some limitations. Because it's not up to date. So, for example, it has problems with HTTPS. So, yeah, you know why? Because the root certificates haven't been updated on the BlackBerry. So there's a problem there. Root certificates are not up there. You can actually go to websites on a BlackBerry, but because the root certificate hasn't been updated, it doesn't support many HTTPS sites. So that's a big negative on the BlackBerry. So given that limitation and the fact that BlackBerry is 3G and 3G support will die, and AT&T no longer supports 3G. So if you're going to use AT&T or T-Mobile still supports it, but if you need a different service like 4G or even 5G, you're going to have to want a Pinephone or a Librem 5, which can handle the new networks. So, because why did Apple refuse the app? Because they said it didn't do enough things. I said it doesn't have to do enough things. It's made for a very specific purpose, which is man in the middle, and it's actually screw AT&T, but I actually don't. I'm going to be frank with you. I did not. Will they have an app store? There's no app store. No, there's no app store on Librem 5. There will not be any kind of app store. You should be able to install anything you want. If it's Linux, you can install it. It will be more convenient to install like Ubuntu kind of apps. That'll be more Debian. That'll be more convenient, but it's not. Put a keyboard in and install anything you want. So you should be able to install anything because it's just Linux. If you use a Bluetooth keyboard, you should be able to do anything. Okay? If you use a Bluetooth keyboard and plug in I believe you can plug in a monitor. So if you can plug in a monitor, you can use the Librem 5 as a computer, a Linux computer. So Apple refused the app because they said it didn't do enough stuff, and I have them reconsider, and they still say, well, it doesn't do enough stuff. So it to the detriment of the people who really need to use it, because people don't realize that there's a man in the middle. So and now that app is doing. I'm not even advertising or doing anything with that app, and that's on the App Store. And I still get a lot of traffic, and a lot of people are downloading it. I don't even promote it in any kind of way. So if you want to find out if there's a man in the middle on Android, it's called Catch MITM. That's the name of the app, Catch MITM, Catch Man in the Middle. AT&T clones use 3G now. AT&T no longer supports 3G. That's the problem. AT&T stopped support for 3G. Yes, I have ordered my Librem phone. Yes, so I have pre-ordered My Librem 5 phone. Yes, I was trying to decide, and I decided that I need to. It cost me money, but I need to show you what it's like. So I ordered it, and if I don't like it, I'll sell it. Okay. So if I don't like it, I'll sell it. Brax should run on a Librem 5 as is, but I can maybe make it a little more native. And so Apple won't approve your MITM no matter what. It's in Brax. So if you have the Brax app, it's in the back section of a limited version of it is in settings. It can tell you if Brax.me is itself. Brax has an MITM, but I don't allow you to search any other website. But it can find out if Brax has an MITM. I'm glad Librem is launching with an app store now. It is launching with an app store. I didn't even know that they were doing that. How are ISPs like Straight Talk and Consumer Cellular going to use 3G? T-Mobile uses 3G. I don't know, Lenny PR, because you're in Puerto Rico, so I can't. You will not be prevented from loading anything on a Linux phone. You can install anything that is Linux. So the App Store is just convenience. Can I create a separate home button icon for the MITM inside the Brax app? Not at the moment. I don't have any facility for doing that inside. You cannot run the MITM program as a web app. It actually needs an app. It cannot be used as a web app. No, JM, no. The MITM has a specific code in there that requires it to be an app, and it can only function as an app. That's why I was kind of stuck. So if I can't get an app on Android, I can't access those features that I need to check if you have an MITM. I actually have to get certificate access to the app's root certificate, and I can't do that. I'm telling you, those ISPs are using 3G now. Check the date on AT&T is stopping 3G. I thought they already stopped. I thought AT&T already stopped 3G. Maybe they're about to stop. I don't. Somebody can verify that. But I know that only T-Mobile has assured us that they will have 3G for the next few years. Are those Linux phones accessible for the price or more expensive than Apple and Samsung? I already told you the price of a Linux phone. A Librem 5 is $699. A Pinephone is $149. Let me repeat that. A Librem, ITT stopped 2G, but they still have 3G. But they have a date, they have an end date for it. I thought that they put an end date for 3G as well. I read that, and I can't remember dates anymore. I thought we already passed it. Maybe it's all of 2019, but as far as I know, only T-Mobile will have 3G. But if you're on AT&T and Lighten Up, you can go to T-Mobile because they support GSM. So 3G on AT&T is easily supported on T-Mobile. And Ting.com and all of those. Mint, they're all using there are different kinds of 3G, but the LTE is officially 4G. LTE is 4G. 5G is not really 5G. JM, that is correct. That's correct. I mean, it's nice to know that they're not going to go to the extreme of tracking like Google does, but it doesn't matter. They still track. So, we can kind of, make it sound less. AT&T is still 2022. So AT&T gives you a few more years for 3G, according to Simon. Okay, that's so now we know. Okay, by the end of 2021. Okay, so you have a couple more years or year and a half. How long is that? So all of 2020 and all of 20, so 2.25 years left for 3G on AT&T, but T-Mobile I think it's promised at least 5. At least 5 for T-Mobile. So, which means if you're using GSM, you should be able to use 3G on some platform, on some carrier for the next 5 years. So there will be some GSM available. Okay? JM, it's not really 5G yet. The true 5G is called beamforming and all that with massive MIMO. No, enlighten up. No, it's 5 years on T-Mobile. So even if AT&T ran out, you can go to T-Mobile. At least, I think that's the minimum promised by T-Mobile. They actually don't have an end date yet. So you don't have to stick to AT&T. You know, whenever they get rid of it, you can go to T-Mobile. It should work. Just unlock it, use it on AT&T, and you're fine. Now, those burner phones are actually locked. If you buy a burner phone, that's why those burner phones are really stupid. I mean, they're locked. So I hate burner phones. They are locked, so you can't change them over. So if you're using like AT&T Go phones, they will only work for AT&T. And then you throw them away afterwards. They're meant to be thrown away. Okay? I'm not a fan of T-Mobile. Well, T-Mobile works much better for me here than AT&T is zucking me up so many times. 5G is only 1,000 meters, so it will be a while for license to be built. That's wrong, Ricky Rick Brack. Please watch my 5G video. You are wrong. Wrong. That is incorrect. It's called GSM is what's used on AT&T and T-Mobile. That is wrong. The same cell towers will be functioning on 5G using massive MIMO and beamforming. Massive MIMO and beamforming. Ricky Rick Rack. Don't let the specs tell you otherwise. Massive MIMO, and so it operationally, even though gigahertz range may be shorter, it's not actually shorter because they're using massive MIMO and beamforming. So they will use the same towers. Okay? They will use the same towers. Okay, so somebody said, 5G means they have to put a cell tower on every electric post. No. If you think it's a limitation, because they didn't actually study it. Watch my 5G video. You should sell a T-shirt that says "Stop zucking me." How do you pronounce your name again? Quina, right? Quina. Or Kina. Is it Kina or Quina? See, now I forget. Quina, right? So Quina, I sell a T-shirt that says Zuck Book. Although I'm running out. I don't have many more left. I think I'm down to a couple of mediums and large. That's about the only size I have, I think. I like the style of the Librem 5 because it doesn't have a notch. You should use flat pack on Librem so there should be no shortage of apps. I want a shirt. Yeah, so I have a large and a medium. That's all I have now of a Zuckbook shirt, which is on my store on rob.brax.me. Why do I make you happy, Anthony? Do you have a small? Medium. I have medium. I have, there's a women's size. Do I still have a women's size in medium? I don't know if I do. Yeah. I want a shirt. So I do not have any. I'm running out. There's only a few left. So thank you, Anthony. I don't know why. What happened is ever brought. I'm such a negative guy. I only talk about it. I will take it. I will take it. Women. Yeah. So Surfer Baby is on my. The website is rob.brax.me. It's actually on Brax. Click on my pick. The store's there. Okay, click on my pick on Brax, and then you'll see the store. Okay, click on my pick on Brax, and you'll see it on the store. A show called Zuck Hunting shirt with Zuck said on it is pretty nice. I may have to redesign the next batch of T-shirts because the current supply is running out. If Apple doesn't convince me with their next gen phone, I would think I'd consider a Librem 5. Lenny PR, there are different things that you need to consider. Why are you considering what the iPhone will offer? This offers spying. So the choice is actually different. Do you want to be spied on or not? That's the only choice. Spied on, not spied on. So I don't want to be spied on, so I ordered a Librem 5. We'll see when it actually gets here. Okay, so that's my consideration. You may not accept that logic, but that's my logic. Spied on, not spied on. So I'll pick the not spied on. Real friends don't let their friends zuck the zuck book. Anyway, it's getting late. So getting late. Did you order with Bitcoin? No, that was kind of a problem. Because I couldn't pay with PayPal. I wanted to pay with PayPal, but I used a different identity and different credit card, so they can't identify who bought it. They can't say, "Oh, Rob Braxman bought." No, they don't know that. Hello, Ann Gables. So yeah, so they're not gonna know who bought it. So thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate the support, Anthony. By the way, please support my products. I make my living all from these videos and from whatever I do here. This is the only way I make money now is from selling you the VPN, selling you the Tor routers and Brax Wi-Fi routers, and I have some security products that I'm working on, and that's the only way I make a living. So which means I don't make much of a living. So your support is very, very appreciated. Please support me with a VPN, or if you already have a VPN, consider the Tor, the Wi-Fi router, VPN router. There's T-shirts, Braxme hats, Zuckbook T-shirt, Braxme hats. It's all my store, and the security products. The security products is gonna be really, really interesting. The security products. So I have a we're designing the case right now for the security camera. It's going to be part of a system, and the first thing that's going to be available is the security camera, and it's going to be much more powerful than Ring. So if you want to be zucked by Amazon, go buy Ring. If you don't want to be zucked, perhaps you should hold off on buying zucking Ring. And if you have a Ring, maybe you should dump it. What smartwatches are going to work with Linux system? Lenny PR, I'll zucking give you my Apple Watch that I hardly ever use. Can you add Tipcoin Cash to your live stream? I will. And Gabled, what is Tipcoin Bitcoin Cash? Do I have a really tip Bitcoin Cash? You're still on. I don't have any more Bitcoin Cash, and Gables. I went 100% Bitcoin. I don't have any alts. I don't. Twitty, thank you, Twitty. Twitty is a patron supporter. Thank you so much, Twitty. I do not have anything else in Gables. I'm 100% Bitcoin only now. Tor router, has the Tor security been cracked yet, or does the government own most of the endpoint router? Ricky Rick Rack, that's why I make the videos. There is a video out there that says, can you be de-anonymized using Tor? Please watch that video. Can you be de-anonymized using Tor? That is one of my videos, and it's recent. It's recent, and it's in the last couple of weeks. Please watch that video, and you will get the answer to that question. And it's not obvious. Freedom Jazz Dance. Awesome. It's an easy way to earn BCH. Just do it and earn money. Thank you, N Gables. I need to figure out how to do that. I can only get better with time. Can you can't undo that? You can't undo that type of mistake. Not worth it, bro. Not sure what the context was there, since you were having a private discussion, so I won't get in the middle of that. Anyway, so please support my products. Please support my VPN. Please support. And if you're not interested in products, any kind of support, super hearts, super chat on YouTube, and all that are highly appreciated. So that is helps supports the program, and we need to support the program so I can keep doing this full time, which is all I do. I don't really do anything else but this, and soulful tune. Okay, I'll give you one tune. There's my QRP right there. It's always next to me. Okay, what am I supposed to play? Okay, I was just that'll probably get demonetized for that, so I may have to delete that later on. So, thank you, Twitty. This isn't the best unless your channel gets up somehow. If your subscribers use the feature to tip your talks, your live. Twitty is everything is very good. Twitty, any kind of support is always appreciated. Any method. Whatever is convenient for people to contribute to the cause is always appreciated very much, very much. Okay, Surfer Babe, thank you so much, guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. I plan on being here tomorrow. Okay, thank you, my friends. Good night.